Leatherface was released in 2017. It is directed by Alexander Bustillo and Julian Maury. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It stars Stephen Dorff, Lili Taylor, and Sam Strike. It is, of course, the last film in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise until they inevitably reboot it at some point, I would imagine. Yeah, it's been a long road, this series, for me. Definitely not one of my favourites, but we're here, we're at the end. Does this entry fare any better than the previous ones? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Okay. It does have some positives, so let's get into those first, I guess. Primarily, it's the look of the film, the cinematography, the period detail. This film does take place in the 1950s. It is a prequel, of course. A prequel to which film, though, is the question. Yeah, we've had, it feels like we've had more than a fair few kind of prequels. So basically, the Michael Bay produced films, they're their own thing. And this one, I believe, is a prequel to the original Tobe Hooper film. So yeah, I think we've got 6 films in that timeline that kind of yeah, go in with each other, but it's hard really to process it all when we're back and two in different timelines and stuff. But yeah, this one takes place in the 1950s. It attempts to give us an origin of Leatherface. I don't think it does a particularly good job of that, to be honest, but I do like that 50s period detail. I love the cars. I love the wardrobe, so to speak, the costume kind of design side of things. It's just that period. I think I just like 1950s America. If you set a film around that time, I have a certain. I can't say the words nostalgia because I wasn't around at that time to have nostalgia for it. But there is just something about the 50s on film that I enjoy for whatever reason. Another positive is the performances. I think most people in this do pretty well. They, you know, there ain't any performances in this that stand out as terrible or anything like that, like there have been with previous entries. No, I think they all do a good job considering the material they've got to work with. And surprisingly, most of them are British as well, with the exception of Stephen Dorff and Lili Taylor. The majority of this cast is British, and I didn't know that. I couldn't tell. I watched the film and then I watched like a behind the scenes thing where, yeah, all the cast members are kind of talking in British accents. So I'm like, oh, okay. So the fact that I didn't pick up on that whilst watching the film is obviously a good sign. It shows that they, you know, they did a good job. They convinced me. So yeah, props to all the actors for the jobs they do. As I say, it is just a shame that this is what they've got to work with. Now, if this weren't a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, if they weren't trying to get us to the point of Leatherface, you know, to the person we know, then it probably wouldn't rattle my cage so much. But I don't buy at all for a second that this guy that we have, this guy played by Sam Strike, would be so well adjusted as he is. Admittedly, he's in a mental hospital and admittedly he has violent tendencies, but he's still able to think clear thoughts and articulate. He's very articulate, you know, for someone who's going to become this hulking mass of man-child that doesn't say anything and just, yeah, I don't buy it at all. There's no way you're convincing me that this guy turns into Leatherface. And because of that, the whole film just becomes like a whatever. It's almost like a fantasy thing and then, oh, Leatherface at the end. I don't buy it. I do kind of enjoy certain aspects of the story, like the Stephen Dorff character I think is interesting because He is a villain, but also a villain who you can completely identify with. You know, this family of degenerates has taken the thing that is most precious to him, and he wants payback. He wants justice. It's just, you can understand where he's coming from, and he is painted as a bit of a scumbag throughout the film. But you never lose sight of why he's got into that place. The family itself, again, like Lili Taylor's character, like all of them, they're all a little bit too articulate for me, from what we've seen in previous movies. You know, that in previous movies they've been like genuine, like Hicksville, USA, and here you could imagine them getting under the radar, going unseen, going unnoticed, which I guess is more believable in some aspects, but again, it's just like, it doesn't mesh with the previous films for me, so I can't really accept this as a genuine prequel to the film that we got all those years ago. It's a very different style of film as well to the previous ones. Obviously, all the previous films, we've kind of been pretty contained, usually to the house, the Sawyer house, or whatever name that family has. That's another thing I get confused with. It's more of a road movie. You know, we go to this mental home, we have this escape, and then it's a bit of a road movie with this bunch of characters. And I think they try to play this as a mystery, as in like, who is it? Who's the one who's going to turn into Leatherface? Because we have this. Yeah, we know that one of the kids of the family has been put into care. We don't know which one it is, but I don't think we're ever in doubt. You know, we have red herrings, such as this lad who's a bit of a, he's not quite up there, and he's a bit of a hulk. So he's the obvious candidate, but it's clearly not going to be him. I don't know. It feels very signposted. It feels like we're meant to see it as a twist at the end, but you never do. You're never in any doubt, really, as to who's going to turn into Leatherface. But the whole time you're just thinking, if it does turn out to be him, it's not going to make a right lot of sense, because he's too articulate, he's too well balanced when measured against what we've seen previously. I do think this film hits an all-time low for the series as well when it comes to some of the things that we see on screen that you kind of can't unsee. A particular scene, well, it's a particular sex scene, really, involving, well, if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But let's just say we did not need to go there. We did not need to see that. It's just, yeah. It's like, as soon as that happened, I was out. I was checked out. It's like, that for me is just, what can we put on screen that is the most absolutely disgusting thing you can think of for the sake of it? I just, yeah. Ew. I think ultimately that this film is trying to make a statement about blood being thicker than water, and the fact that this kid will always come back to his family ultimately in the end. But I don't think it's handled particularly well, just because I do feel like the character motivations just turn on a dime, I don't believe them. So for me, this is a 2 out of 5. I'm glad this franchise is done with, I guess, is the positive that I can take away from this one. I will be ranking. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I will be ranking these movies. So, yeah. Join me next week for that. If you've seen Leatherface, comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching this video. And until next time, cracking.